What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Elevator Life.
Hey guys, good to see you.
Typhooning outside. I was just in Hong Kong.
Crazy.
Followed me here. It's wild. You have to walk with an umbrella in front of you, behind you, not even on top of you. The rain's all crazy right now. But
Yep.
That's where we live.
Yep, wind's whistling through the buildings, but today we are talking again about our entrepreneurship series, the basics, the beginnings, how you start doing business here in China. And in our last episode, we started down the path of trying to help determine what you should do here, what opportunities you should pursue, and we talked about manufacturing and sourcing. Today we're going to be talking about what it takes to be an importer here in China, what you should expect from the market, what kind of job that is for you, and the opportunity it really presents.
Yeah, we always talk about all the opportunities that are here. Again, they're plentiful, they're everywhere, but if you try to grab too many of them at once, they're all going to slip through your fingers. So now we're really trying to let you know, kind of let you know what's involved with all these opportunities, so you'll kind of know which route you want to go down or which path to take, what fits you the best.
If you guys know anything about our story, you'll know that this is the route that we pursued first. We started importing wine a few years ago, and so I think we have a little bit of experience to talk about this topic.
Yeah, definitely. This is our first successful route we take.
Yeah.
I guess is what it would be. But yeah, jumping right into importing. So why importing is the first question, and quite simply, this market is becoming a consumer frenzy. Everybody, the middle class, the upper class, everybody here is getting more wealth. They want to consume more things. They want more foreign goods. And I'm talking about everything that is produced around this world. They want the best of it from all the countries out there.
Well, really, you're seeing an economy that was driven by development and exporting and manufacturing sector, and that's going to be turning towards the consumer-driven economy. And that's a scary thought to think when you have that many people here that are consumers already, and the ones that are going to be in the middle class gaining wealth and consuming that much more. And so obviously this is a business area that everyone is driven to. When they think China, they think, wow, importing, that is a huge sector, there's just so much opportunity. Why that is true, it does take a certain kind of individual to pursue this route, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Also, there are some things that you want to watch out for when you're thinking about becoming an importer in China.
Yeah, sourcing and manufacturing, you can kind of do that, land and get going, start to see progress relatively quickly, but this is definitely one of those long-term, you have to know it's not going to be, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and that's exactly how you define this business, because it's very long-term growth, it's very very high barriers to entry, but once you kind of overcome those initial hurdles, you're able to really capitalize on the market here, as we've been able to successfully do.
So when you're looking from the outside in at this opportunity, you know, everyone at first, just like we were, is blinded by, wow, the opportunity, this is massive, this is fantastic what we're doing. Okay, but let's really get over that hump and talk about what it's like to start importing into China. Okay, you're going to have to deal with the shipping. Okay, first you develop the relationships with wherever you're bringing the goods from. Okay, that's the first part you develop the relationships with, and then you do go through the logistics process. So getting into China, that's your first hurdle.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get it in. You got to deal with all the red tape. You got to be very comfortable with the longer process that can be. Getting through Chinese customs isn't always a breeze, and so really that's your first hurdle, getting it into China.
I mean, breaking it down from step one, say you're ambitious and you want to bring your goods over here. That shipping time from the United States, I mean, we'll use that as our example. I mean, it's 4 weeks. So that's already 1 month right there from when your goods are shipped to when they get to the border. And then the customs nightmare, minimum again, 4 weeks, maximum, they're not getting through. It's not a very, again, it's a very time-consuming process. So you have to make sure to be as efficient and productive during those downtimes to make sure when your goods actually arrive here, you're ready to hit the ground running, because you've kind of, again, put all your ducks in a row and you're really ready to go from the get-go. Exactly.
So how most people do it is what we were just talking about. They first go, okay, I'm going to try and source my goods. Once I have my goods sourced, I'm going to ship them, and then I'm going to try and get them in China, and then I'll start my business. That's where we were wrong. That's where almost everybody is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't necessarily have to do it that route. Like he just said, it's extremely time intensive, and you don't actually start developing anything of certain value, any kind of value, until you're months and months and months into your venture, and that's just terrible. It will drive a lot of people out of the business. So importing doesn't have to be done that way. You can hit the pavement before that.
Exactly.
You can really dig into what your market is like. Who are the people that will be buying your products? What kind of products exactly are they buying? Where is your fit in the marketplace? Once you know that, and once you determine who those buyers are, what they need, and how they can buy them, they might actually be able to go with you and help you source them exactly what they want. Okay? So that's really the way importing should be done. And that brings us to the next part. What does it take to be someone that can run this kind of business?
You have to be, wow. I mean, where to start? You have to be that very sociable, driven, kind of pounding the pavement, sales-oriented people person who just really, I mean, as we both are, you just really have to get out there. We always talk about being comfortable in those experiences and that aren't normally comfortable, and then just really putting yourself into that environment where that persistence really has to be there, because you will knock on a ton of doors and you'll deal with a lot of positive, warming responses, but those will really turn into nothing. And that's something you really find out here in China is, as he just said, you have to find out where you're going to be in this market. We thought hotels and restaurants were the way to go because those people would understand our product the best, when really we should have been focusing on the domestic clientele, which is something we'll get into later, because they are the ones who are with all the buying power right now.
Exactly. And like you just said, that's why it's so important when you're dealing in a business that's so long term, okay, and it's driven by networking. That's what this whole business is driven by. It's driven by networking, hitting the ground hard, and you don't necessarily know who's going to be that big purchaser, but you just network anyway. Okay, throw your net out in the sea like they always do. You hope you bring in a big fish. With that said, that's why it's so important to have your game plan nailed down before you do it. Okay? Because if you know you're in the right space, if you know this is a good space to be in, you know you have a killer product, and it's just about finding the right buyers, finding the right partners, then it is a matter of time. And so you waiting 6 months to a year and a half to really get that big client, that doesn't really bother you because you're already steadfast and you know this is a winning product, this is a winning business model. But if you are going the other way around, jumping in, I think this is going to work, let me get product over there and see if it works, it's not, and that's why you see everyone drop out. So you really got to get in there with a solid plan. You got to network, and build on top of that foundation that you already know is strong.
Yeah, what he said was perfect. How a lot of people drop out. We've seen so many people come here with their perfect product that hasn't been tested yet. They've paid all the capital to get it here. They pay the taxes to get it in, and nobody wants it. And nothing is worse than having, we just use wine because that's our background, a container of wine that no one wants. I couldn't imagine
Happens
that.
a ton here in
I
China.
couldn't imagine that feeling. Yeah, and we've heard this story way too many times where people either end up just dumping the project and leaving, and they're just saying, I'm done with China. But the best point he made, if you have a good product, we have some of the best Oregon and Washington wines available. We know they're good. They're good everywhere. They're all over the world. If Oregon and Washington is going to be successful in China, these are the wines to do it. And that's exactly what happened. You just have to know it's not going to be the first door. It's not going to be the 10th door. You're lucky if it's the 15th or 20th door. And it just happens out of sheer networking. Every time you're offered to go to these events, we just got back from one about 30 minutes ago from someone who wanted to do an event with us. We said, okay, maybe, and we end up meeting, oh, this guy could be a potential lead for a distributor. Again, it's late here. Filming wasn't the best thing to do right now at this time, but we still figured, hey, this is what we got to do. And it's just always that schedule. You always have to be the yes man, taking those opportunities and seeing where they can take you, because the second you start to give up on it is the point in time when your kind of toughness and your endurance and your, I guess, not diligence, what am I trying to say? Your determination really starts to weaken, and that's when your business will start to kind of lose power.
Okay, now that we know long-term business needs to be built on a solid foundation, okay, you got to be persistent. Let's turn the corner a little bit, okay? This is an awesome business, and what I mean when I say that, if you are built on that solid foundation, if you do have determination, if you do persist, and you're built on a solid project, you'll see the cool things start to happen over time, okay? When you have that solid foundation and you have that long drive and persistence, not only do you have that strong product, but you'll learn more and more about the product or about the market as it goes along. You'll get better at marketing it. Your network will get bigger, and magic will start to happen. Okay, that's an awesome part of importing. And when that magic happens, the best part about it is then you do see that whole market. Then you really do see all that potential. But it's only that select few that do persist and have that determination and do have that solid product that get past that shadowy, fuzzy part of the beginning of the business that drives a lot of people out.
I'd say that importing, a good way to, there's that exponential growth there's a lot of potential to have once you figure out where you're going in the market, and the most important thing, how to market it, how to promote it, because things we think work really well in the United States that we were taught work very well just don't work here.
Yep.
It's just not, you just have to tweak it to the market, and once you do it, your success gets bigger and bigger, and then the best thing is you start to get the reputation of, oh, the wine guys, oh, the American wine guys, and then even on my train back from Hong Kong today, get a call. Hi, is this Nick? Yes. Are you the one doing Washington State wines? Why, yes, I am. Well, I've always loved American wines. Boom. Here comes a meeting in 2 days. And that's just simply because the networking that you've already done, that foundation you laid, has now have everybody pointing back to you as that reliable source for the product that you're importing.
Exactly. And that's where the network can catch fire.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when the excitement starts to happen.
It's awesome.
I mean, guys, when it really comes to this business model, you got to ask yourself, am I willing to put in that work? Am I willing to get to the finish line? Because you don't really know how far away the finish line is. And so I keep bringing it up, but it's all about having faith in that product that you're bringing in. Too many people just don't understand that. And we in our special positions of being a lot of consultants to this market, but also mainly running our own business, we get to see that because we've been through the whole process of, oh, wow, I had no idea. What we thought a year ago was completely wrong. We've been through that process ourselves, and people still come up to us on a daily basis trying to get into this market, and they're always going, okay, yeah, okay, maybe I'll come to you guys for advice. And then when they turn away, you're like, they just do not understand the value in understanding the market and really understanding the grasp on what a solid business plan to coming in here is. And that just drives me insane. But that's just me.
You're saying I'll help you, and then they just say no, and it's just like,
well, you're saying this is what you got to do to get in this market. I know it for a fact. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've done it, and then, oh, okay, well, thank you for your thoughts, or and then they'll go somewhere else. But that's
solid plan, solid product. If you have a solid plan, a solid product, get it approved by others that have done it. If they're like, yes, that's awesome, that will work, then it's time to start seeing if you can run with it.
Yeah, in Enter China right now, we're even consulting someone on their labels. For one project, we're consulting another person on the brands to bring in to the United States. And this is all because we've done all this before. I know I can look at something and say, this is going to be good because ABC. And you can look at it and say, that might not work because ABC. Because we've done all of it and we know how hard it is and how long it takes. But as long as what you're bringing in is good, as long as you're open to tweaking what you think is right, you have a very long road ahead of you, but one with definitely a pot of gold at the end.
Yeah, this is big business. This isn't for the, what do they say, the faint of heart.
Yeah.
This isn't for you, but this is big business. It's exciting business, and there is, like you said, there is a lot of gold at the end of the rainbow if you can find that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's all from us on importing into China, the basics of importing, what to expect.
I really want to say is if you're a goal-oriented person, I think this is a very good business for you. If you know what your end goal is,
see the big picture.
Yeah, you see the big picture where you want to be in your 5 years, then this is a good business model for you, because that dream will keep you anchored that whole distance between now and that 5-year mark. And if you keep it up, then odds are, you'll find success.
Definitely. Guys, like always, if you like what we have to say, check out our Inner China community. It's where we talk about this stuff every day, all day, with others that are doing the same. So like we already said, people have gone before you, take advantage of it. If you're serious at all about starting business in China, check out innerchina.co. That's where we're hanging out.
Yeah, definitely. Look forward to seeing some of you in there.
All right, guys. Cheers,
Cheers everyone.